Hi, thank you. I spent much of my childhood on my grandparents' farm on the banks of the Shenango River, and it was a lot of fun. I'm telling you, especially when Grandpa lit the tap water on fire. I mean, I can still remember how amazing it was. We could turn our water on and light it. I mean, not everybody can do that, right? Of course, I never thought about the fact that we were also drinking that same water. I think that's maybe why I turned out the way I did, a bit on the wonky side. But my grandfather, like his neighbors, leased his gas rights for pennies on the acre for decades. Nobody ever came and drilled any gas wells. They couldn't find a way to make a profit. The technology did not exist. Fast forward 50 years, south of the border in Pennsylvania, they're drilling wells for that same shale gas that's under my grandfather's farm. What's the difference? They're using a technique called fracking. Now, fracking, there's a moratorium on fracking in New York State. It has been for about 4 years, but there's not been a moratorium on the debate about fracking. And boy, has it been contentious. It is so polarizing. One side predicting economic boom, the other side predicting environmental doom. So much at stake, but we can't get past talking points and shouting matches to actually sit down and have a civil discussion about the real issues. So I had a what if moment. What if I could write a comedy about fracking that didn't take sides? You see, I think humor can connect people in a way that bumper stickers and lawn signs just cannot. So, sat down at my computer and started. The title was easy, Frack You. The first two characters practically jumped into my laptop, frickin' frack. I mean, I had no idea where this story was going. I didn't have a story, no plot, no ending. But I figured with frick frack and a catchy title, how could I go wrong? So I actually ended up with much more than I'd ever anticipated. The play resonated with people. I think after 4 years of debate, they were ready for getting their fracking facts with a chuckle. So before I knew it, the play was filmed and aired. I mean, imagine, I started out with what if, and now my play's on television. And it's not just any film. It's a film that's being shown in public screenings with moderated talkbacks afterwards. Students are performing it as stage plays. So it's continuing the dialogue about fracking in a different way than we've seen so far. Isn't it cool that we're using the arts and humor to bring a very controversial issue to people in a non-controversial setting? Now there's an adage in theater that says, show not tell. So let's look at some footing of Frack You.
I'm Frick, and this is Frack.
Frick and Frack. Are you those two egghead brothers from Beantown?
Nosmo, I think that's click and clack.
And he's not my brother, he's my significant other.
Okay. Bet you're guessing why.
It's always about the money.
Bet you're guessing why Frick and Frack are gay. I was surprised too. I'm sitting at my computer and I write the line, he's not my brother. I thought, he's my significant other. Just came out. I like to play of words. That's the moment Frick and Frack became gay men. It's just that simple. Go figure. But it soon became really significant because you see, Frick and Frack are welders for the gas industry. And when we had our first informal reading of the play, someone stood up and said, Laura, you've got it all wrong. Gay men aren't welders. I was totally taken aback, didn't know what to do. I was saved by a 17-year-old boy in the audience. Thank God. He stood up and he said, that's a stereotype. My dad's gay and he's a cabinet maker. Gay men can do anything. so, so that was really the defining moment of the play. And also, I think the whole debate about fracking. Stereotypes act as roadblocks to open dialogue about serious issues. We need to move past stereotypes in order to really sit down and figure things out. And one big stereotype about gas industry workers is that they're hard-drinking men, take drugs, and left their women back in Texas barefoot and pregnant. We have to, I think, move past these stereotypes before we can really move on with the dialogue. And now we can go back to Nasmo's bar, where another pair of lovebirds, Molly and Joe, have joined into the party.
Molly's right. To get a bigger bang for their buck, gas companies add chemicals to the fracking fluid.
And they're not little blue pills approved by the FDA.
Hey, you said that the fracking fluid was 99% water. Well, what's in the other 1%?
It's just sand. Bet you played in a sandbox when you were a kid.
An ordinary household chemicals you'd find under any kitchen sink.
Drano, anyone?
Now, Molly, we all have Lysol and Fantastic in our cupboard. That doesn't mean we drink them.
Nobody's asking you to drink the fracking water.
You're trying to turn a perfectly harmless scientific procedure into an episode on the Twilight Zone. I say focus on the positives.
Yeah, I mean, where would Dorothy be if she'd been a negative thinker?
On the wrong side of the rainbow, that's where.
So the glass is half full of Drano instead of half empty? Try putting that on a bumper sticker.
Okay, guys, I've got them for you. She thought it couldn't be done? I've got a pile of them, so see me during the cocktail hour. Put them on your bumpers. Might further the dialogue in Workman's parking lot. Who knows?
Has helped our town in so many other ways.
Name one.
Business is booming. Well, Leonard Utter just opened a store selling muck boots, and they're going out of the store faster than he can stock the shelves.
But it's only a small number who are getting rich off this gas play. All I'm seeing is lots of problems.
Molly's right. Some of the wells have become acidic from fracking.
Can you imagine taking a shower in a solution of acid?
Acid is a good exfoliant.
I call that a free facial.
Now even Charlie and I can look as good as those celebs in People magazine. And once that gas starts flowing, we'll be just as rich.
All this gas. What a bonanza. It sounds like there might be a few problems, but I'm sure they'll sort themselves out.
A few problems? First thing they'll do is bring in bulldozers and raise the land. Goodbye, trees.
And hello, lazy boy. Now I can sit back and watch football instead of raking leaves in the fall.
I bet it really opens up the view.
Some view of a concrete slab.
Cement gray is the new black. Goes with everything.
Okay. Okay. I'm always surprised when somebody comes up to me after seeing the film and they say, I learned something new. I'm like, it's in the news every single day. But I think the problem is that people suffer from information overload. There's so much information out there. It's often conflicting. They just stop listening. They turn off their hearing aids. So I thought, maybe a film like this could bring these people back to the table and expand the dialogue about fracking.
For free.
They ought to be putting up a plaque in City Hall that says Henley cares.
Instead of bitching about the noise pollution from the compressors.
With those compressor stations, sound like you're sitting under the flight path to JFK.
Why the hell do you think iPods were invented? So you can listen to what you want, when you want.
You know, I moved here to get away from the noise and commotion of city life. I'm beginning to wonder if this gas money is going to be worth it.
It's not going to be worth it. Definitely not.
I'm guessing that you and Joe don't own any land, right?
Oh, that's typical. You think we're against fracking because we don't stand to profit from it.
Seems to me a lot of people against fracking don't happen to own any land.
Of course, it could just be coincidence.
Well, I happen to own a nice bit of acreage right next to the Millennium Pipeline.
And I inherited my dad's farm. They say there are massive gas deposits below my land.
So that's another example of stereotypical thinking, that people against fracking don't own any land. I think we can show the next clip now.
Of me, I don't want to see fracking come to Broome County any more than you do. But if it does come, I need to be part of it.
You're not making any sense.
Could it be that Honorable Joe has been beguiled by the almighty dollar?
Joe?
Molly, you know it's not the money.
Oh, sure, that's what they all say.
I'm doing it because the coalition gives me some protection.
What do you mean?
If my neighbor signs a gas lease, and we all know that Nosmo will, where do you think he's going to want the rig? Next to his house or next to mine? There are rules and regulations to protect coalition members and safeguards to protect the environment.
The coalition protects the environment? Now I've heard everything. Give me a for instance, just one.
Okay. For instance, the wells will be tested before the drill bit touches the ground.
Oh, that is some protection. I suppose a flashing red light signals it's time to drink bottled water, Joe.
Now you're just being silly. You know what I mean. The gas company will remedy any environmental damage. It's all covered in the contract.
They'll be long gone by the time that happens, or conveniently bankrupt after they've hauled away all the gas.
We're only going to sign with a Fortune 500 company, so they'll be around if any problems happen.
Not if, when. Those big companies are selling off their leases to smaller companies. So you'll be wearing a condom when you get fracked, only you won't know who made it or how strong it is.
Well, it's better than no protection.
It is no protection, and there's no morning after pill.
Okay. Where I goofed up, just like one of my actors, I forgot my line. I was supposed to preface this clip with things get dicey when Molly finds out that Joe joined a gas coalition behind her back. So, sorry about that.
Fine print. Are you sure you got the gas rights when you bought the farm?
Of course I did. I bought everything, you know, the main house, the outbuildings, and every acre of land, even an old beat-up red tractor.
But do you own the underground gas deposits?
Molly, if I own the land, it's not like I only own the top inch of dirt. I can dig down as deep as I want to plant my tomatoes, and all that dirt is mine. If there's worms in it, they're my worms, and if there's gas in it, it's my gas. It's just common sense.
But the mineral rights can be stripped from the property faster than Gypsy Rose Lee can toss off her boa.
Whoa, hey. This is no laughing matter. You mean to tell me that it's legal to separate the mineral rights from the surface rights?
Yeah, you bet. You may have bought the farm, but not the bling.
Somebody else may own that.
Did the deed say anything about easements or rights of way?
What the hell?
Allows our big trucks to drive on your property.
Yeah, maybe even put in a drilling pad.
You've got to be kidding me. Just what do I own?
And I'm thinking that you and I should go home and check our deeds. It's only in the last few years that we've even talked about mineral rights, real estate closing. Did you read the fine print in your deed? I know I didn't.
You came in. It looks kind of official.
What is it?
It's a tax bill. $19,000 plus change.
For what? Is it from the IRS? You've got to watch out for them. They can garnish your wages.
Just get a good lawyer and an even better accountant. I can't tell you how many times I've been audited by the IRS and won.
No, it's not from the IRS, it's from the county.
The county? Oh, boy.
You owe back property taxes on the farm?
That's what it looks like. And the county's giving me 30 whole days to pay it.
Or what?
Or they foreclose. What was my father thinking of?
You think maybe he forgot?
How can you forget something like this?
He was sick for a long time, Mal. Maybe he didn't have the money.
Well, neither do I.
$19,000 would give my piggy bank a bad case of indigestion.
That kind of money would be a stretch for anyone.
Not for Molly. There's still time to join the coalition and get a big fat signing bonus.
Nazmo's right. We'll be signing the gas leases before the end of the month.
That'll give you plenty of time to pull up to the drive-through at BSB, deposit the check, pay the tax bill in full.
So think about it. What would you do if you were Molly? What would you do? Thank you.